Hello, thank you for joining us today. In the studio we have Heather Clements, which is the grant administrator for the City of Jonesboro. Heather, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Now I understand you have some vital information for the citizens of Jonesboro in participating with the Vision 2030 plan. But let's catch us up on how the Vision 2030 plan is coming.
It's coming pretty good. As you know, the steering committees have been meeting for 2 years now, and we're just about ready to wrap that process up.
Well, that's great. Heather, what is the Vision 2030 plan?
It's a 20-year strategic plan for the City of Jonesboro, and it's a citizen-driven plan, and it covers such topics as quality of life, infrastructure, economic development, all of those components for a city that make the long-term sustainability possible.
Okay, and I understand that there was a $2.6 million HUD grant that was awarded that the city participated in. Can you give us an update on that?
Sure. That was the HUD Sustainable Communities Grant, and it was awarded to the East Arkansas Planning and Development District for $2.6 million. What that is a long-term planning grant for areas such as transportation, housing, economic development, and energy efficiency. And the city is, of course, a huge partner in that.
Okay, and what's the intent of this grant, I guess?
The intent is to bring the entire East Arkansas region together in these areas of planning, infrastructure, transportation, housing, economic development, energy efficiency, so that the entire region 10, 20 years from now flourishes.
Okay, and we have an important event coming up that requires civic participation. When does this event take place?
Well, on February the 21st through the 24th, Brian Cole from Building Communities will be here in town to facilitate the strategic planning process for the City of Jonesboro through the HUD grant. One of the components of this HUD grant was for some of the cities to participate in a strategic planning process. And because the City of Jonesboro is so far ahead in that, because we've been working already for 2 years, then they sort of offered us up to go first and be the first participating city in that. And so Brian Cole, he's the president of an organization called Building Communities, and he assisted Pam Alexander at the East Arkansas Planning and Development District to write the HUD grant. So he's going to come and facilitate this plan week, if you will, for a 4-day intense process with the steering committee of City of Jonesboro, and we're going to try to wrap up Vision 2030.
Okay, and he has a planned presentation on that Tuesday night, correct?
Right, on February 21st, that is a city council meeting that night at 6:30, and he will be doing a presentation on his strategic planning process. He actually has a patented strategic planning model, and that will be the model that we use. So he wanted to do a presentation, and the mayor thought it would be a good idea for him to do a presentation at council just to let everyone know what that process is and what it entails. And the very next night, the 22nd, from 6:30 to 8:30, the city will be having a public hearing or a town hall meeting, if you will, so that we can gather input from the citizens to then be used the next day in our planning session.
Okay, and what of these 4 days that we have planned events, what things will be taking place on those 4 days?
Well, on day one, the steering committee will be determining strategies to go into the plan, and that will largely be based on the work that's already been done to date with Vision 2030. On day 2, they will do a capacity assessment. On day 3, they will determine action steps or next steps for all of the participants on the steering committee and some of the staff of City of Jonesboro. And then on day 4, they will come up with a plan to relate these action steps to the citizens of Jonesboro.
Okay, and obviously this HUD grant is much larger than this specific scope. What else is the city using this grant for?
Well, like I said before, this grant was awarded to the EAPDD, East Arkansas Planning and Development District, and this is really a small component of what we'll be using that grant for. We're just a participant, and then East Arkansas Planning and Development District will bring all of the region's players together to fully implement that grant.
Now, Heather, Brian Cole is coming in. He's going to facilitate this process. He also helped with the writing of this HUD grant. And I understand he's the president of Building Communities. Can you give us a little more information about his organization?
Well, Building Communities is, like I said, a strategic planning organization. Brian Cole is the president. It's out of Oregon. He did help Pam Alexander facilitate the writing of the $2.6 million HUD Planning Grant that they were awarded recently. Actually, Brian Cole was recently contacted by Terry Bradshaw from that show Today in America. And Today in America wants to do a spotlight on this organization. And Brian Cole then contacted me to use the city of Jonesboro as a feature in that promotional video.
Okay, and other than obviously the long-term effects of this plan, let's think near future. What can the Vision 2030 plan be used for?
Well, actually, as you know, every year the Chamber of Commerce goes to Washington, D.C. to meet with our state's representatives. The mayor and some of his designated staff go with the chamber to meet with those representatives. This year we will be going March 7th through the 10th to meet with Senators Pryor and Bozeman and their respective staff, and then also with Congressman Rick Crawford. And then in addition to meeting with these state representatives, we will be meeting with the major departments in D.C., such as Department of Justice, Housing, Energy, Commerce, in order to get our priorities and our budgetary needs relayed to them. Vision 2030 will be a huge asset to us when we go to Washington, D.C. to show them, hey, City of Jonesboro's been working hard, we've got a great plan, we're ready to implement that plan, and here are our budgetary needs to do that.
Okay, well, it'd be safe to say that this plan week has huge emphasis for this Vision 2030 plan. Can you help express how much of a need it is for the citizens to participate?
Well, without the participation of the citizens, it's not citizen-driven, and the city has worked very hard to make this a citizen-driven process. So it's absolutely pertinent that we get their input at the public hearing, and then that we use that input to determine action steps.
Again, one more time, the time, date, and place of the town hall meeting.
It'll be February the 22nd at 307 Vine Street. That's the Huntington building that the city owns. It'll be from 6:30 to 8:30 that evening.
Okay. Well, Heather, it was a pleasure sitting here talking with you today.
Thank you.
And again, thank you. And thank you guys for watching Channel 24.